Hello, tankers and gamers. It's Momentary Jinx here with, in case you had to choose between two mediocre tanks that are in a bundle that has one good tank and a couple or another mediocre tank, which is what Wargaming likes to do to help pad out their bundles and make money. Now, if you like this concept of this video and like what I say and how I portray it to you, by all means, like and subscribe. And I will keep making more because there are plenty of mediocre tanks, and we all know Wargaming's bundling is, well, sometimes you have to sacrifice some gold to get a good tank, and also deal with some garbage tanks where you feel like you wasted your gold. And in today's, in case you had to choose, because you never know when the T95E2 might show up as a Western stealth bundle with the Leopard 1A1, and this mediocre tank, or the M636 Condor, makes an appearance as it's bundled with the T62M1, and you go, if I had to choose between these two, and I like both tanks, but then which secondary tank would I regret least buying? And in all fairness, you're not looking at the winner of this battle. The T95E2 only real strength over the M636 is it has turret armor that from front can work at distance with smaller caliber boom snouts, but its trick is it's got siege mode, which, if you've heard of or have experience with the siege mode from the Swedish TDs and maybe a few other medium tanks that kind of have it, but it's really the Swedish TDs that have it, and you think, oh, but the siege mode will allow me more gun depression and also better accuracy. Well, you don't get that. The siege mode does nothing for accuracy. It just allows you to maybe keep your turret armor angled correctly and effective for the small caliber. And oh, look at this M50 Sherman. You thought you had me. Well, you did, but I came around here and boom, there's the tracking shot, which is something I'll get to later with is a huge advantage for the 90mm boom snouts that both of these tanks have. Back to the siege mode that does nothing for this tank. It just gives you a chance where in certain positions you can protect your lower plate, or if you're above an enemy tank, you may be able to get the extra few degrees of angle to shoot down on them, but that's it. After that, the T95E2 has less health than the M636. Its accuracy is worse overall. Aiming is maybe slightly better. And keep in mind, I have about commander in the tank with about 5 skills. My M636 is much newer. Its commander only has 2. I don't do what all the other reviewers do, which is I have nearly fully trained commanders, so I swap them out between premium tanks and stuff, so they get to really buff out the flaws of the tank. I don't do that. I try to keep this a little more raw and more realistic for new players who might not have a nice stable of fully trained commanders they can swap here and there for tech tree tanks, which cost silver to do that, or the next new premium medium tank. There's too many premium medium tanks. That's why I defaulted to saying that. So I have plenty of commanders, so you know what? Each tank gets their own commander, perfectly fitted to that tank, even though a lot of tanks kind of just have the same playstyle anyways, for the most part. But yes, the T95E2, it does have better penetration. It does have higher alpha. But what it does lack, when it comes around, is God. It has such a slow traveling round. It is under 1,000, which right away, 1,000 meters per second to be specific. So somewhere like over 800. That is slow. And you don't want to get up close and personal with this thing because you don't have much armor. You have a smaller silhouette than the M636, but that limited turret armor is useless up close. So realistically, you want to be at a distance. If you have to lead your shot and really, hey, if you're good with Kentucky windage, then have at it, Haas. Realistically, you're gonna miss a lot of shots because they're so slow. And if you're not bouncing a shot, you're missing it, and that feels even worse. But at least if you're bouncing a shot, you know where the next round needs to land versus I have to guess again where I need to shoot. All right, great. How far off was I that last time? A mile? 2 miles? Great. Yeah, the T95E2. Premium stats. The silver boost is lower. Tank XP, lower. Oh, about the same, actually. It is the same. Hey, but free XP. You get 6%. Yeah. That's a good thing, right? Woohoo. But no. I did well in this tank because I'm very familiar with it. Yes, the commander does help having more skills, but it has decent mobility too. You know, you can move around depending on how you want to set up this tank, but yep, T95E2. I learned to love it, tolerate it. Yeah, tolerate it. Because, oh, one thing both of these have, they fear the FE 4005, Object 268, any 105 with Hesh or HEP. So, now we're here with the M636 on Nomahan, which I regret. Every time I play this map, I'm just regretting it. It's just see it too much. Thank God they've expanded the map list for better or worse in Cold War. Thanks, Wargaming. Now, the Fat Penguin here doesn't have 14 degrees of gun depression, which, if you're familiar with the Eastern Alliance tanks, like as I am, you're fine with that. You accept that. You expect that a little molehill will force you to overexpose your tank so you can get that shot that will do 200 damage. Yeah, I don't necessarily like 90mm cannons. Boom snow. Sorry, YouTube. Don't hate me. Now watch what I mean by low damage, low pen, with this Centennial here as I become an annoying mosquito. I have lower pen, but the Centennial has worse armor and a little derpy, but the aim in time, I will work on that when I focus on the gun handling. I'm hitting those shots because, yes, having a round that travels even slightly above 1,000 meters per second is a wonderful thing. And if you have the NM116, you know what I mean. Thankfully, unlike the NM116, the M636 isn't going to run out of ammo anytime soon. Yay. And, oh yeah, I was happy, because for once Nomahan worked for me. I could snipe, and this is what you want to do in a tank like this, because you have no real armor. The turret is shaped like it could bounce around from certain, auto ricochet angles, but who knows when that's going to happen. And yeah, I could see myself really coming to appreciate this tank as I spend more time with it. The commander gets more skills unlocked, and 65% silver. Everything else is mediocre. 65% silver earn rate. That means if you do have a bad game, and maybe you don't have premium time, you have a nice, comfortable buffer where as long as you did decent damage, aim for that 1,000 damage, okay, kiddos? For all you newbies, start with 1,000. Don't be afraid to go for the tracks either, because when you have, as you saw with the T95E2 when I got ammo wrecked, my ammo rack took damage, and I went down to 10-second reload. That is still comfortable. What is great about the 90mm boom snouts is the high rate of fire. So you can track a tank, find a weak spot, do damage, track that tank again, or if you know where the right angle is, you can track the tank, punch through the drive wheel, do damage to the tank because you over penetrate the drive wheel, you track them, you damage them, and then you rinse, wash, repeat. And if the tank is an FE 4005 and you're behind them, they can't turn their turret all the way around and say, "Eat hesh, mother ducker, goodbye." You'll be fine. So yeah. Or you keep moving and know where to shoot and hope you don't derp and hit, because this tank, yeah, it's like the TVP-88, where HE and the hesh and the HEP rounds can be painful. Yeah. Just don't get hit, right? It's that easy. It's like, please don't shoot me. Let me shoot you. And here we see, get behind him, shoot, run into things, don't run into things, hide. Please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me. Oh, thank God. Big tanks scare me when I'm in a tank like this, alright? But I have fun. Sort of, sometimes. Once you've learned this thing. And so, as I said, if you had to choose, and sometime in the near future, the M636, which got in the previous season's season pass, will be available in a bundle most likely, which is probably the only time I would recommend this tank. Is if there's a really good tank, if we're talking like, hey, for 10,000 gold, you get the T62M1. Oh, how about this? Oh, I'll raise the stakes. The Type 59D, the T62M1, and the M636. You know, we'll call it Era 3 or All Eras Domination. And yes, definitely getting, because 2 out of those 3 tanks are good. You can learn to love the T62M1. All right, you can. Trust me, you can. And the T59D, even though it's a medium tank, the armor does occasionally work in Era 3, and you can be a sneaky little SOB and have fun. So yes, the M636 is better than the Type 59, sorry. I have a preference, okay? And that Type 59D is a good tank. The T15, screw it. The other tank sucks. I don't even want to talk about it. It took way too long to learn how to make it work. Get the M636 if you have to, but never buy a single, only in a bundle. Have fun. Learn, develop your skills. It's a great tank to also learn how far you've come along as a tanker in this game, unless you've uninstalled. So there's my casual try-hard impressions of the T95E2 and the M636. I hope you keep your tracks on the ground and the RNG's in your favor, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye.